Hello and welcome to Talking About. I'm John Griffith.
I'm Cara Kilduff. Welcome to the show. Tonight I would like to introduce and welcome our first guest, Queens resident and comedian extraordinaire, one of the cutest in the business, Danny Leary. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, you put a gun to my back and said, get me on the show. No, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
We have a ton of stuff to talk about. I don't know where to begin.
All right, why don't we start with Danny's new show.
That's a good place to start.
The Danny Leary Variety Extravaganza.
How did you come up with that name?
It's named after me, actually. Believe it or not, it's named after me. No, it's well, because it's my show, so you know, got to have my name on it. But it truly is an extravaganza. It's truly an extravaganza. I like to call it. People ask me how to describe it. My new show. I would say it's a mix of the Tony Awards. It's a mix of Merv Griffin. There's a little Oprah in there. There's a little hee-haw.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun. You know, like I was inspired by award shows, like the Tony Awards. You know, they open with those big, great medleys, or like the Grammys. They always have a nice medley. All the award shows have great medleys, and I thought to myself, why can't my show have a big medley? So
well, I mean, this is no joke. You've got a band.
I have a band. My show it's truly an extravaganza.
A musical director.
I have a musical director, and you know, it's a monthly show, and every month I pick an artist that I want to honor. You know, because the criteria for what is booked on my show is what I love. So we've had a Dolly Parton medley, we've had a George Michael medley. This Thursday, the 30th, we're having Gloria Estefan medley. So she's got some great music. She really does.
She does.
And I have professional vocalists. I have Broadway singers. I have cabaret singers that come on. And my musical director, Kenneth Gartman, who's just incredible, takes this music and arranges it and puts a medley together. But what we do, what's different than, let's say, American Idol or so, they always try to put a new spin on the material. We present the material as it is and let the material speak for itself. So it's sung by professional vocalists, and it brings nostalgia for the audience, you know, when they're taken back on a journey to when Gloria Estefan had great hits, you know, when she was on the radio.
Before the car accident.
Before the bus. But no, it's fun. We had rehearsals. The show has rehearsals. We had rehearsals last week with the band, and oh my God, the bongos. Just, you know, because we're doing Congo.
Are you having bongos?
We're having bongos. You cannot do Gloria Estefan without bongos.
Listen, full disclosure, I was part of the Greek chorus in the.
She was.
I mean, I'm sold on the show. It's amazing. It's so much fun.
Thank you.
Now wait,
I'm having the time of my life with it. I really
it's amazing. It's so much. It's so creative. You put so much of yourself into it.
There's great music on the show. You know, we've had Belinda Carlisle songs. We're having a Diana Ross song this time. You know, and I also like to. I have a lot of interests, and you know, every show we have I do a scene from a musical because I love Broadway, and I do. But I don't
acting out all the parts.
No, I'll have a professional Broadway star will come on and do something from a Broadway show. The first one we had something from Tell Me on a Sunday, a really sad song. Take That Look Off Your Face. And on this one, on Thursday the 30th, we're doing a scene from the Pulitzer Prize winning Next to Normal. And we're doing, which is a terrific musical right now on Broadway that deals with bipolar disorder. And I'm having this phenomenal Broadway actress do one of the anthems from that show. So, you know, it is a comedy show, but there are moments in the show that we truly go on a dramatic journey.
Now, wait a second. You're a comic, but you're also very musical. I'd like our viewers to know some of your background. You're big in the cabaret world. You had that show On the Rocks. How is this show different from On the Rocks? On
the Rocks was, you know, I've always, well,
great title, by the way.
Oh, why, thank you. I coined it. No, On the Rocks was in a cabaret club, and you know, I'm a stand-up comedian primarily, not so much anymore. You know, I'm spreading my wings. But I thought it would be ridiculous to have a stand-up show in a cabaret club and to not have cabaret. You know, there's a grand piano on the stage. Why not have singers on? So It was a mix between cabaret and stand-up. What's different about this show is that I only have one stand-up act on the show, and the rest is original sketches, celebrity guests, interviews, musical numbers, dance numbers, numbers from Broadway shows.
So it's an old-time variety show.
It's an old-time variety. I don't think New York has seen a show like this in, God,
It's so
maybe
much
20
fun.
years. Maybe 20 years. You know, last month, Cara was on, we had a Greek chorus. You know, they're doing Euripides. But we mix it, though, like it was a little bit of Euripides, and it would go into Cold Hearted Snake, you know, with this Greek chorus. It was really, you were terrific at it. It was really something amazing.
It was it the first? What show was it? They did a scene from
Dynasty. From Dynasty.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I was Crystal
funny.
Carrington,
Okay.
and Kareth Foster, the comedian, was Alexis. And how that came about was, you know, my friend Kareth, you know, she's known for being America's sweetheart, but she's got a real bitchy side to her. So I thought, you know, I want you to play Alexis. So
And she
yeah.
looked fabulous. That
And
night.
who, you know, and these are shows that we should remember, you know.
Yeah. Right.
There's so much garbage, I think, today on television and on the radio. And, you know, if we just look back 10, 15, 20 years, you know, we have some real gems in American culture, such as Dynasty.
Such as you, you're very talented. Now,
oh, I
as
think I
a
happen to agree.
as a gay comedian, and you're so handsome.
Oh, stop
You
it.
can vomit anytime.
I'm just enjoying the show.
I'm completely biased in my opinion of Danny Leary. I've come to adore him. J'adore.
It's
No,
mutual.
Thank
It's
you.
totally mutual.
Oh, I love
You know, we had the same hairstyle 2 years ago,
We did.
and we both taped a stand-up TV special on the Here Network, and we both had the same hairstyle. I've since evolved. My hair's evolved.
Whatever.
Cara-
Mine's
Cara's
different.
not evolved
I
in
mean,
2
you could have had
years.
the same hairstyle, and you could have both been wearing the same gown.
My hair was a little. Yeah, exactly. My hair was a little longer
I was in the
than-
gown. She was in the tracksuit.
Oh, you shut your mouth. Listen, gay comic. Do you have you read the latest Next magazine? Do you agree with?
I saw the article.
Okay. Do you agree with what they said that it's harder for gay male comics to break into the business, harder than lesbians because allegedly we're more acceptable?
I think that's the silliest thing I've ever heard in my life. This business, as hard as it is, it's hard for anybody. You know, gay, you know, straight, you know, what have you. It's just hard. It's a hard business, and you know, I think that that's the least of a comedian's problems is their sexual orientation. I am under the, I subscribe to the theory that, or no, I subscribe to the fact that funny is funny, you know, and funny will rise to the top. Funny, if you're funny, the jobs will come, you know. And I really don't think there's a glass ceiling with gay comedians. I really don't.
I agree.
I don't. I think if you're funny, you will get there, and so what if you happen to also be gay? You know, I don't wake up in the morning and say, I am a gay comedian, you know. I wake up and I say,
You wake up and say, I'm gorgeous.
I'm a professional comedian, you know what I mean? It just so happens that part of my story is that I'm gay, you know, comedy comes from truth. But I think that's a crutch. I think that's a crutch that a lot of gay comedians will lean on, you know, say, oh, I'm not getting booked here and I'm not getting booked there. It's a crutch for mediocrity, I think, because I think that, you know, funny will open doors. If you're funny enough, you will get the work.
That's true.
So that's my opinion.
Why are you so cute? Jesus. So we've been talking about the show, the Danny Leary Variety Extravaganza. It's a mouthful. We did not mention where it takes place.
It takes place at Comics Comedy Club in Manhattan. It's on 14th and 9th, and it's in their Copper Room, which is this fabulous cabaret venue within the comedy club, and it's really a beautiful venue.
It's
It is.
very
I'm happy to be
cozy.
there.
Cozy lounge.
And what I'm happy about my show is that it's in a comedy club, but there's no minimum. There's no, which, you know, with this economy, you know, I think comedy clubs always have a stigma, like, oh yeah, I gotta go and buy 2 drinks and this and that,
Yeah.
you know.
It's tacky. And
You don't have to buy a damn thing at my show.
but yet it's always packed.
But yet it's always packed because it's good. No, I sound like I have a big head, which I do. But 2 of them. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's just a good show. It is, and word of mouth is traveling. And there's just great music on my show. I work with I've surrounded myself with the most incredibly talented group of people to collaborate with. And you know, every month I'm just beside myself that I get to work with these people.
We have a caller.
Yeah, well, that's our next segment.
Oh.
Our caller is the next segment.
Oh.
I like callers. Gentleman caller.
What
was that play? Yeah, I know.
Last Menagerie.
Last Menagerie.
That's
right. You have theater roots too. We have BFAs.
Yeah. I have a professional degree in waitressing and bartending. No.
Waitressing.
Stop.
You don't waitress.
Not anymore. I quit that mess a couple of years ago.
I've never done that. I've never done that.
What?
Yeah, I refused.
I
refused.
You were a flight attendant.
I was a flight attendant.
Why don't you tell us about that, funny man?
You know, there are things in your life. What do they call it? A bucket list or a ducket list? What is it?
A bucket list.
Bucket list. And flight attendant was always one of them. I had always wanted to be a flight attendant, and when I first moved to New York City, when I graduated with my BFA, coming out here to be the next Patti LuPone, which I'm on my way to being, I needed a job. And so I looked in the Village Voice, and there was open house flight attendant, and I was like, oh my God, flight attendants must make so much money. You know, I made, you know, my rent at the time when I first came to New York was $750, and I made like $900 a month. I swear to God, being a flight attendant.
Oh.
But I loved it. I loved it. I was poor and very thin. Those were very thin days. Gorgeous, glamorous days. But I'd always want to be a flight attendant because I have always, you know, I'd always wanted to do the safety demo. You know, you'd be on the plane and you'd watch those hand movements, and then you'd look at the flight attendants in the airport, and they'd be pulling these rollerboards behind them, and they were just like celebrities in the airport, and they're all traveling in packs and sexy and wind blowing through their hair. And I wanted to be one of them. And I worked for Spirit Airlines, which, as you know, was not Pan Am. But you would have thought I was on Pan Am. If you were on my plane, I gave the most beautiful demo. I mean, people still talk about it. They still talk about it in the air.
You are ridiculous. What's with the Patti LuPone obsession? I want to know.
I love Patti LuPone. You know, she just released a book on September 14th. It's the new Bible. It's the new Bible.
Oh, okay.
It is. I think they're going to open another chapter in the New Testament and called the Book of Patti LuPone. No, I have loved Patti LuPone. You know, I loved her on Life Goes On. Remember Life Goes On with Corky? And this woman, I just remember I loved the mom. You know what I mean? Other kids would like 90210 and other cool, and I was like, I like Life Goes On because the mom. And she was just the most glamorous woman. Like she's playing like a blue collar mom, you know, but she would like Becca did the dishes, you know, with these lips. And then she would sing. They would look for any excuse for her to sing. I'm like, that voice. And then I remember one time my father was supposed to pick me up from school, and he forgot. And I think he was worried that my mother would find out, so he bribed me. He knew I liked Broadway musicals, so he bought me the soundtrack to Evita. And I had no idea what Evita was. And then I got this soundtrack, I started listening to it, and I'm like, this voice, I know this voice. I was like, oh my God, this is a whole soundtrack with the mom from Life Goes On.
And your life changed.
My life changed.
And here you are.
And here I am doing the show. But you know, it's funny, I keep going back to the show, but I have to say this. On my show, we are celebrating the release of Patti LuPone's memoir. And we're having a director who's worked with her come and share some experiences. And we're going to do a book review and a lot of Patti-themed sketches because how could you not?
And the show is again playing every...
It's monthly. The next one is next Thursday, September 30th at Comics Comedy Club, 8 p.m. It's only $10. There's no food or drink minimum.
Well,
there's a lot of me.
Definitely check it out, and I want to thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
I love your show.
Website, do you have one? Yes.
I sure do. DannyLeary.com.
Bam.
Thanks again.
Thank you.